a detailed geological investigation that was supposed to be carried out by Minerals Commission before designating small-scale mining areas, some achievement has been made. And even as I speak to you, Gold Ball is advancing funds to Geological Survey Department, authority, to be able to identify more mineralized areas to resolve this matter further. But as I speak to you, a significant achievement has been made in that respect.
So, out of the 113, how many of these sites have been gazetted, since you said a significant
Indeed,
number
all
of
of them
done?
have been gazetted. It's fully implemented. If you look at the reports that we have here.
I was expecting you to share it with us, because for the public, I don't think most of them will have the reports. So that's why I asked the question, giving you that opportunity to share with us.
Yeah, so, Chair, this is the report that you hold there. And so all those that have been fully implemented have been ticked. And so if you go through, you realize that this particular infraction is being ticked as fully implemented.
We are also sharing this with the public. That is why I'm asking, if truly it's been done, can you please go ahead and confirm?
Yes, so for instance, we have a community called Accra Town, 0.20 size of land has been geologically identified and worked on, and that is around Wasa East. You have Ajuma DM, which is also 31.24 at Asunafun South. You have Akaso, which is 50.35, Amanse Central, Adanse South, and Obuasi Municipal Assembly. Then you also have Bonfa, which is 22.9 at the Jesu Joabin. And then you have Wumase, which is 40.11, and so on.
Minister, so out of the 113 that they identified, I just want you to confirm that they have been done. You just read out 144.8 out of the 150 that they said they had already done. But I'm asking specifically to the 113.
Chair, my earlier response was that all the 113 had been implemented. I mean, the implementation of that particular infraction was fully adhered to. You requested for perhaps the list, and I've mentioned some here. We may perhaps have to give you that comprehensive list, because it's not everything that is captured here. But I think the auditors will
That is what I'm going to. I'm going to go to the auditors to confirm
we have submitted
whether the 113 sites have been gazetted as you recommended.
Honorable Chair, that has been done. All the 113 have been gazetted. Thank you.
So, Honorable Minister, the next question is, we know the right thing. Why did we not gazette before giving it out? So that if, anything should happen, then it becomes difficult for us to trace and to find out, because you don't have the records being gazetted. Why did it happen the way it did? And have you put measures in place to prevent the occurrence of this infraction that the Auditor-General picked up?
It's a very interesting question. Why did that happen? It happened because those who were at the helm of affairs didn't implement the law as it's supposed to be implemented. And that was why those infractions were, those infractions came up. People had concessions when they didn't need it. There's evidence where some people have concessions that they didn't need it. They didn't even know where the land is. And so we have reviewed the small-scale licenses, like I said earlier on. About 1,200, close to 1,300 licenses were revealed. And when we reviewed them, about 907 irregularities or infractions were identified. We further checked and realized that some were administrative in nature. And so those that were administrative in nature, we asked Minerals Commission to resolve them themselves, which they did. But as I speak to you, just last week, about 278 small-scale mining licenses were revoked. They were revoked because we found that a lot of irregularities that you cannot even resolve were the reasons why we have to revoke them. For instance, if you were to go through the process of getting a small-scale license, you go into a software called MCAST, where you put your application. Where you are going to do this mining, the community will have to be involved. And so the officer there will have to write a report. And in that report, the officer is supposed to recommend whether to give that concession or not. We found out that even in so many cases where the officers had said that, don't go ahead, these are the reasons why I'm asking you not to go ahead, some officers went ahead and approved and gave out those concessions. We have revoked them, and we challenge them to take us to court. Again, there were instances where a concession is so close to a community. Indeed, if you were to mine, you end up mining within the houses of the people. And so the officers professionally recommended that do not give out these concessions. They were given. And so we have revoked them. In other instances, there's a high tension line running through the concession, and the officer will say that do not approve. These were approved. We have revoked them. There were instances where the chiefs will sit in their palaces, and then somebody will walk to them, and on their face will just fly a certificate. I've received a letter from Minerals Commission to come and mine, when the owners of the land were not consulted. And that's not what the law says. The law says that you must involve them, you must consult them. Now we have received quite a number of petitions from chiefs when we took over, and so those were also investigated, and they were part of those that we revoked. So what we are saying is that we will sanitize the system and let people who really want to mine come and take those concessions in mind. We have evidence where you have people who have come for concessions and now went around looking for people to sell it to. That is not what we are asking for. And so such instances, we have revoked them, and we want those who want to do mining to come, go through the process, get your mine license, and whatever support that the government will give to you to go and do your mining, you do it. People are occupying spaces, and others are looking for spaces to mine, and they're not getting. And those who are occupying those spaces are not miners. So these are some of the challenges that the system brought up, and with the help of the technical people at Minerals Commission, EPA, Water Resources, Forestry Commission, the committee involved all of them, and so we have come out with, at least for now, 278 that we have revoked. Just yesterday, one of them petitioned that his application should be reconsidered. And so I read it. And what he said was that, yes, at the time that the license was given, the infraction that you raised, indeed, we didn't meet it. But after your revocation, we have now gone to resolve it, so restore us. However, what they forgot is that the process of approval is contingent on that particular item that you didn't satisfy. And so, such a case, we are not going to restore them. We will create that space for Ghanaians who are interested in mining and who are committed in mining to come and take the licenses in mine.
Thank you very much for that elaborate explanation. And I pray and hope that we live by what we say. Minister, I also want to find out from the Minerals Commission what it takes to conduct geological investigations in a particular area and how it is done.
So in your narration, your earlier narration, you mentioned that if somebody is interested in mining in a community, it needs the community's involvement in the approval process. The law that establishes, is it for Minerals Commission or EPA? I just need that clarity. I say this because there's been instances where people want to engage in small-scale mining, or, I mean, I don't even know if it's galamsey or small-scale mining, would come to a community and claim that they have gotten documentation from the Minerals Commission and any other body involved. Without the community's involvement, they begin mining, and that creates a problem. So I want to understand, you mentioned an officer that needs to approve at the base. Which officer is that? Who is responsible for it? Then also, the bit about the community's involvement. I want to understand what our involvement is in the process.
I mean, you are just collaborating what I said earlier on, and that's due diligence and going through the processes hitherto were not done and done well. And so your question is whether or not the community take part in the approval process. The Constitution says that all mineral deposits, okay, are being kept, and put it that way, by the president on behalf of the people. That same law, I mean the Minerals and Mining Act 703, also made provision that in the course of giving out those leases, the community must be involved. And so the district assembly, for instance, will have to be involved. And the officer responsible for, let's say, the district minerals commission officer must also be involved. In some cases, it's region, but they go to the district and involve even the chiefs, the landowners. And so we have what we call gazetting. I guess to a point where you have to gazette, and then you go and paste all the necessary documents of an area that you intend to give out, and to find out whether that land is already being used by somebody and all of that. The truth of the matter is that we hide very relevant information from the people. And so you go and see a notice posted somewhere is diagrams. Excuse me to say, the chief in my community cannot interpret it. It's there for 2 weeks, and then you end up saying that we gazetted, we posted the maps and everything there. We have satisfied the law. We are going ahead. That is not the right thing. It is for you to interpret the land, I mean the maps to them, and let them ask you questions. So that if I already have cassava or yam or cashew on that land, I can ask for compensation. Then you give me my compensation and you go ahead. So it is important to state here that stakeholders are supposed to be part of the approval process. That is clear. And so if there's anybody who goes to the community, like I said it earlier on, the chiefs are there, the youth, everybody is sitting there, and then they'll just go and say that we have received a license from Minerals Commission, we are coming to mine. And once they say that they have a document, and once the people know that the deposit there is the president that holds it, and this is an agency that is working for the president, then they slack, and then they go ahead and do their own things. That is even dangerous. The challenge is our ability to implement the laws. And it takes us, the politicians, to ensure that these laws work. I can tell you that it's sad that sometimes we even put pressure on technical people, and they do things that ordinarily they wouldn't have done. When we're reviewing these small-scale licenses, after everything, I asked Mineral Commission officers, can you challenge these irregularities that we have found? He said, you are right, it's true. Those are the issues that we are talking about. We should stop pretending. And once we stop pretending, OPK, Ghana will work.
Thank you very much for referring to OPK. But, Minister, this collaboration between MC and EPA, is it at the top level? Is it just sitting in Accra, or it transcends down to the base? Because I know that when you get to the assembly, there's an officer that handles issues of the EPA, and there's also a separate officer that handles issues of the Minerals Commission. And I want to find out the collaboration that you talk about. Is it something that is just between Yusuf and the Ministry of Environment or the person responsible for EPA, or it transcends down to the base, the local level?
I said to you that the laws are there. Now, at the local level, we're supposed to have committees. And these committees are the committees that are supposed to ensure that all these things work together. And the composition of the committee brings on board the EPA, the District Assembly, the Forestry Commission, the chiefs. In fact, it is chaired by the DCE. And so all these things are in place. And it is this law that has brought all those things to be in place. And so it's just for us to implement them. Once we implement them, we don't have a problem.
Thank you very much. My final comment on this. Can you, as a ministry, Minerals Commission, EPA, publish for the consumption of this country mining firms whose licenses have been revoked? We need to know. We want that publication done.
I think last week, those that we revoked, if you check in the dailies, I'm not very sure, but on our website and on other platforms, we publish all of them, 278 of them. I can send a soft copy of those ones to you so that you can share to your other friends so that you go far. And I'm saying that sooner or later, large-scale companies, those who have gone to take lands, they've gotten the, licenses, and they're now running around to get people to come and invest. When people are holding resources and they want to go and do business, they're not getting space. We'll revoke them.
Thank you very much for publishing the over 270-something revoked licenses. But how many have you granted in the last 8 months?
Yeah, so when you inherit a rot system like this, you don't rush to do, to repeat the same wrongdoings. So what we are saying is that between 2017 to 2024, we relaxed in ensuring that our laws work. And so what you need to do is to clean the house first. And that's the house cleaning we are doing. We have been transparent. When we got all these irregularities, like I said, we send them back to Minerals Commission. Minerals Commission, if there are administrative issues, if there are issues that emanated from your side, let's correct them so that we don't punish the innocent businessman. At the end of the day, we sorted out all those issues, and that is why we are revoking these ones and we are publishing it. So for us, I can tell you, help us, we'll sanitize the system. Those big ones will fall. And what we inherited, we'll all work together to make it a better thing.
Minister, you see, I like your commentary, I like your energy and all of that, but you seem to be doing, how many of the licenses have you given out? 0, 10, 20, 100? We want to know.
So when it comes to small-scale licenses, I cannot, as I sit here, give you any figure. I cannot give you any figure.
Minister, thank you very much. Thank you for admitting that you cannot give me the figure. Minerals Commission boss, please, I'm putting it to you. How many of these licenses have you given out from January to November as we sit?
Chairman, I just conferred with my CEO and we swore an oath, right? And we are serious and patriotic citizens sitting here. We will not want to give you any information that will contradict what we have in our data. And so if you want us to give you accurate information, give us by close of day. We will print it out and come and give it to you today. But we don't have it here, and we're not guests.
Yes.
Don't give them.
So Minister.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are going to give you the whole day. If you want the whole week, we want this information out there. That
Thank you. We'll bring it.
Aside everything that you talk about, correcting the rot, everything that you talk about,
We'll put it on our letterhead and bring it.
we'll be very grateful. But at the beginning of this administration, Minister, do I go ahead? No, that is it.
You know, okay, but just to put on record,
Yes.
I told my acting CEO that we should not conjecture any figure. You know why? After the December general election, we are asking about the number of licenses that we have given in this year. Is that not the case? After the elections, immediately after the elections, just 4 days for the new president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to be sworn in, 55 licenses were signed. So if we are talking about new ones that were signed, we can begin from there. That at least 55 were signed. We'll go and add whatever that we have added and bring it to you.
Minister, see, I appreciate that. Minister, I appreciate that. But you see, Minister, you talked about the MCAS system. You talked about how the whole small-scale mining system is now digitized, and you get to know. We know that at the end of every month, with a click of a button, your agency, Minerals Commission, gets to know the number of licenses he has issued. And so what is the big deal in telling us that as at the month of October, at the month of September, at the month of August?
Come on, I thought you agreed that...
The interesting thing is that you remember the licenses that were issued 4 days to the expiration of the previous government.
Yes, in a
rush. But you don't remember the number of licenses you have issued. It shows a certain...
You push me.
I never push you.
To tell you what
I'm here to ask the questions. That is my role as a member of parliament, yes, and also the vice chair on this committee.
Yeah, so the 55.
Honorable member,
the 55,
if I'm going to be the chairman of this place, let me be the chairman. The minister said we need to give him up to this evening, right? He will get us the numbers. What is the big deal about it?
Nobody has disputed
Don't let us play politics with
I have not disputed that.
Let's give him the chance to bring the numbers. And then we can play with it. Let's move on. The next one is by Honorable Frank Yeboah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Minister. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Minister, in 2019, when the auditors came to do the audit at Minerals Commission, one of the things they found was that Minerals Commission was issuing operating permits without plans from small-scale miners. But in 2024, when they came back to do a follow-up, that has been corrected significantly. So looking at how sensitive small-scale mining and its related names are to Ghanaians, I just want to, since we have Minerals Commission CEO here, I want him to take the opportunity to explain to Ghanaians in summary how one can obtain, the process one has to go through in obtaining an operating permit to do small-scale mining in the country. Thank you.
I mean, are you asking of licenses or operating permits? The two are not the same.
Okay, my question is on operating permit.
Operating permits?
Yes. And if you have to get a license before operating permit. That's why.
Yes,
we
so
need
like
that
I said,
education.
you need to get a license. And when you get a license, you now go to EPA for EPA permit. When you get the EPA permit, you attach it to your license and come back to Minerals Commission. And when you come to Minerals Commission, the Inspectorate Division, headed by the Chief Inspector of Mines, will now assess it and give you an operating permit. It is only when you get this operating permit that you can now go and start work. But even that, when it comes to large scale, given the ruling of the Asian Quebec, if you don't ratify, you still don't have the right to operate. It's just that we are a bit considerate. But I think that we'll get there where we'll have to ensure that you ratify before you can even go and start operations.
Okay, thank you, Minister. My last one. Per what you just said, I just want you to walk us through. If my uncle lives in my village in the Ashanti region called Daba wants to enter into a small-scale mining industry, the small-scale mining industry, what's the process he has to go through before he can do the small-scale mining legally?
I thought that this was answered when, anyway, I'll let a technical person answer it. He is in charge of small-scale mining. So take us through the process. If somebody wants to get a license to operate in the small-scale arena, what do you have to do?
Yeah, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, if you want to obtain license to operate small-scale mining, first of all, you have to conduct a search to ensure that the place you are interested is within a block-out area. So you conduct a search in Minerals Commission, and if you found the area to be in a block-out area and the area is free, that is why we advise you to put in application. Now you have online applications. That is what we are talking about, the MCAST. So if you put in applications, then you have to go to the field and then put the pillars, the coordinates of your area of interest. Then the district officer will inspect whether that place is conducive for mining. And the coordinates actually reflect what is on the ground. After that, you cause a gazette to be done. That is where you inform the chiefs and all the other people. And if everything is done within 21 days, there is no objection to that application, they will go ahead to process the applications. And then we make a recommendation to the minister. That is, if everything is satisfied, you make a recommendation to the minister. And if the minister approves the recommendations, that is why we allow you to pay the annual mineral right fee, you pay the ground rent, and you sign the agreement with government of Ghana. And the minister will sign on behalf of the government of Ghana, and the entity will sign,
So,
and that becomes a
you
license.
don't sign with the community, but with government of Ghana?
When the gazette is done,
Yes.
that is where you're supposed to consult the community.
I'm talking about the signatory.
It's for the minister. By law, it's only the minister.
Oh, so
who
the
can
community
grant.
doesn't come in at all?
They come in a different way, but not in signing.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So you, the applicant, yes, you, the applicant, has to see the community because they have the surface right. So as a result of that, they will grant you that right. They will.
I understand that part, but I was the final signatory.
The
It's
final
not between the
signatory-
community, but rather the government of Ghana.
The government of
which
Ghana.
the minister does on behalf of the government of
Exactly.
Ghana. And okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Then that is the mining license. After that, as the honorable minister has said, then we advise you to obtain environmental permit from EPA. After the environmental permit, you have to bring that one down to Minerals Commission again, to the Yeah, if you are going to use natural water, you have to go to Water Resource Commission for water use permit. And then you bring all those things to Inspectorate Division of Minerals Commission for operating permits. And that is the final permit that will be given to you to actually undertake whatever operations you want to do. That is why you call it digging permit. That is what allows you to dig the land. So basically, that is how it is done.
Thank you very much, very much.
Summarize it, and if we want details, we'll have to ask for it. Like you said, he should give a summary, because some of the issues we are addressing here, he hasn't mentioned some of them. Because, for instance, the plan of the, what is it called? The miner will have to bring his plan. It's part of the process. And all those will culminate into giving him the license or giving him the right to operate. So I will advise that people who want to do mining and they want small-scale mining, go onto our website, the Minerals Commission's website. All the details are there for small scale. Now, if you want a large scale, they are also there. The two are not the same. If we don't clarify it, somebody will listen to us here and go and get his few documents and say that he wants a large scale. You will get to a point and get fed up and then stop. I will plead with Ghanaians who want to do mining, go onto our website. The information is there. We also have desk officers at our various offices. If you go and inquire from them, they'll give you the right information. Thank you.
Minister, thank you very much for the intervention again. You mentioned, you talked about block area. Is it a free area in layman's understanding? What's block area? Is it a free area in layman's understanding?
No, these are designated areas. You know, we spoke about the role of geological survey and the fact that they're able to get mineralized areas. Then you block that area. And when you block that area, it is an area that you intend to give to, let's say, small-scale miners. And let me also put on record that small-scale mining is the preserve of only Ghanaians. So if you are not a Ghanaian, you cannot own a small-scale mining license. However, or unfortunately, you go and see somebody with a small-scale mining license, and the whole place is white people who are mining there. Because he had gone into some arrangement with them. He may not even be there. He's not on site. He's sitting somewhere. He has more or less sold the thing to them. And even when you inquire further, the people who are working there, I don't want to mention any specific countries' people, you asked whether they have work permit. The answer is nil. But who has brought them there? The Ghanaian. So if we ask that this should be for us, it should be our preserve, we take it, and this is the way you want to do it. How are we helping ourselves?
Mr. Chairman, this is my last one. You mentioned the fact that the applicant will have to see the community. Can you throw more light on that? Is it the best way? And how is this seeing the community mean? What's the meaning of that? I know you're going to engage them.
Okay, so for instance, I want to take a small-scale mining concession from Etua. Now, I've done a search. I've identified a place in that area that this place is about 25 or 30 acres of land. And that is for small scale. Small scale is around 25 acres. We must also say this. Now, I identified a place. I can go and take the coordinates of that particular place. Then I do a search. A search means that write to Minerals Commission that you have identified this place and you intend to apply for a license to do mining in that area, small scale. Within the shortest possible time, Minerals Commission will respond and say that, yes, that place is vacant. When you get this report, you now go into our system, the MCAST, and that's where you now place your application. When you place your application, there's an officer at the district. You need to bring him on board. The officer working with you and the district assembly will now begin the process of identifying stakeholders. Now, these stakeholders, you're supposed to engage them. For instance, the chief of Etiwa. You can go to him.
There's no chief of Etiwa. So maybe you mentioned the town, the chief of Enyinem.
The chief
Etiwa
of
is the district.
Okay, it depends on the area.
Or the chief of Tinga, your place.
A very handsome, powerful chief, Tingaura. If he's listening to me, Chief Metro. So you involve them, and then let them know that this is your interest. You all agree that, oh, you can come and do it. The assembly is involved. The assemblyman in that area is involved. The chief is involved. In some cases, the chief may not even be the landowner. So you ensure that the landowner is involved. When you agree, the officer at that level will now have to write a report of the suitability of the place and also the fact that you have engaged the stakeholders. Based on that, he will now recommend that you should be given the lease. Then you take it from there. All the necessary payments that you are supposed to make, you pay them online. Is that not the case? You pay them online until you get to a point where the CEO of Minerals Commission will now recommend to the minister that Yusuf Suleimana, who is taking the concession from Etiwa area, has met all the requirements. And so we are recommending to you for your approval. Then the minister will interrogate it. He can call for the file and satisfy himself, and then also sign. Then it gets back to Minerals Commission again. And then they engage Yusuf Suleimana again. Your application has been approved. These are the things that you're supposed to meet, and these are the conditions of the agreement. Are you ready to have a reclamation bond? You have to go and discuss this with the EPA. And that's one of the issues that we have not looked at. And then we go through all this process, and then you can now have your license to go and mine. Now, if you don't involve the community, and then you go get your license and get back to them, that's where you begin to have some challenges. So I advise that we involve the communities. And I also advise the communities that when people come to you.
Honorable Minister, I'm sorry. We have about 13 more questions to ask you. So when we ask the rest of the questions, maybe it will help you.
Chair, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Chairman, I'm done. Thank you, Minister, and Mr. Chairman, I'm done.
All right. The next question is on by Honorable Enim Enes, please.
Thank you, Chairman. So this issue had to do with prospective small-scale miners not posting reclamation bonds. And I think that, Minister, you had spoken to it in your last statement. I just want to understand, because when you look at all the issues, I can see that with implementation, you have been able to do a lot. But on this particular issue, I see here that it's partially implemented. I want to understand what are the challenges EPA has with this particular issue. If you can throw more light into it, then we can go to the next question.
So a reclamation bond is a bond that gives an assurance that the degraded area, as a result of your activities, will be reclaimed. And if it is not reclaimed, this amount of money that you would have used as a guarantee will be used to reclaim the place. And this is sitting with EPA. Thank God we have EPA rep here, so I can speak to it. So there are issues of budgeting. EPA must be able to tell approximately how much it will take for the reclamation to be done, even before the mining starts. Now, it is possible for some figures to be estimated, and then at the end of the day, that figure will not be enough to reclaim the land. So some kind of thinking will have to go into it. But the question here is that under this particular arrangement, many of them did not even put in reclamation bond. As I speak to you, we are now insisting that they put in reclamation bonds.
So, Minister, over here, I just want to understand something. Do we lack capacity in the assessment of the costs? Or what is it? Because if EPA is not able to estimate correctly how much it will cost us to reclaim a portion of parcel given to a particular small-scale miner, then it means that there is some bit of capacity issues. Because
I have to reframe my comment or my. It's not the case that anytime you do estimate, you get it right. It's not the case. So largely, it's because they were not placing these bonds. And that was the issue that was raised. And we are saying that now there's some improvement in that respect. If you look at the 2024 submission.
Yeah, I can see you are partially working on this particular issue. But then, with the issue of galamsey we have in this country, I believe that if EPA is able to do this important assignment of getting the estimates, at least even 80%, 90%, we won't have all these degradation of the environment, because if we have these bonds secured for reclamation of these lands, I do not think we would have issues, because even when the small-scale miner runs away, we have enough in the bond to take care of the land. So that is an area I feel that we should do more. If EPA should start acting, we won't be talking about galamsey, because we have enough security to take care of the damage that the small scale will leave for us. So I think EPA should do more. And Minister, let me bring in this one, then you can just answer, then we can move on. Do you think we need reforms to the bond system so that it will make it easy for these small-scale miners to comply? Because if there are reforms such that a small-scale miner, based on its capacity, is able to pay, then we shouldn't have a problem. So tell us if there are any reforms you think can help make compliance easier for small-scale miners. Then we won't have this issue of galamsey lingering around and people, communities complaining and all that.
Chairman, sometimes I get confused when some of these issues are raised. Galamsey, small-scale mining, and all of that. And we said here that there are people who hold certificates and pretend to have it from Minerals Commission, but they haven't gone through the process. We classify them as illegal miners. And so these are some of the people who don't even have time to go to EPA to go and put their bond there. So the challenge starts with how they acquire the lands. That's one set. Another set is those who will not even come to Mineral Commission. They won't go anywhere. They just take their equipment, arrange with some landowners, and then they start. That is pure galamsey scenario. And these are criminals. And if the law works, we must deal with them. But we need now to bring them on board and see how we can license them and move on. That's the way to go.
All right, Honorable Minister, we go to the next one. Is Honorable Cletus who will ask that question, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Minister, this report or infraction, it has to do with the capacity of your district officers. It was detected that your officers do not have the capacity to prepare plans for monitoring with regards to environmental risks. Can you talk to this?
Yeah, so that was a legitimate issue that was raised, and it's been addressed, and we continue to improve upon it.
Address it.
Of course, so addressing it means that getting the requisite expertise and people with the necessary backgrounds to handle the specific areas that we want them to handle. And so we are now taking more geologists, we are taking more engineers, and we are also giving them in-house training.
Thank you, Minister.
All right, the next one is by Honorable Nase. It's 2G.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Minister, this next infraction is about inadequate strategies to address structural, human resources, and logistics gaps to enhance monitoring. I'm very particular about the minimization of environmental degradation. So it said that the district mining committees were either not in place or inaugurated. Please, may I know how far you've gone with this?
Yeah, so by the close of 2024, all the district management committees were inaugurated and they were functional.
I think the auditors. Well, it's conflicting to what the auditors have written here. Auditors, please can you confirm to what the minister is saying?
Honorable Chair, when you look at what we have indicated in the report, we are saying that 20 out of 24 district mining committees at the 3 mining areas we visited were not functional. 3 out of the 5 DMCs in Takwa were not functional, while 10 out of the 11 DMCs in Obuasi were not functional. At Akemoda, 7 out of 8 DMCs were also not functional. And the DMCs in the 3 mining areas, as we have them in the appendix. Officials of the Minerals Commission indicated that the 20